All right. Good morning, everyone. It is Thursday, October 31st, 2024, 9 a.m. I'll call this meeting of the Board of Harbor Commissioners for the Town of LaPointe to order. With us this morning, we have Jay Welts. Here. Susan Widmer. Here. Michael Collins. Here. Myself, Zach Montang. And Glenn Carlson. Here. Absent are Pete Ross and Evan Erickson. Staff present is Secretary Lauren Berteau and Chief Administrative Officer Katie Kisner. We also have Robin Russell from Miffle, John Carlson and Paul Bremer from the public. We'll jump right into agenda item 4. Oh no, public comment. Sorry. Go ahead.
At the last meeting, when I was talking about school camps, I'm not following really closely, but Robin had raised her hand and Glenn said, "Let me finish speaking." And she didn't say anything, and she waited. But when he said, "Robin, please continue," Glenn cut in like that. He didn't give her a chance to speak. He was rude. Yeah, Glenn, you basically were telling somebody who the Harbor Commission has hired, who read the ferry line for years, who knows the system, telling her what to do. You're micromanaging, and you need to stop. You need to use somebody who's got the knowledge to use the knowledge that you guys are paying her to do. Thank you.
Go ahead, Paul.
3 things. Number one, again, full meetings at 4:30 or later, Humbleton will used to be at 10. Number two, I had a nice talk with Katie Kitzner 2 weeks ago. I'm still waiting on her if she's going to schedule a meeting between our family's business and her, Cal, Robin, and both Harbor Commission chairpersons to discuss the need of an 8:15 special vote. And number three, I'm kind of curious, how will the 2 students get back tonight if the 7 o'clock vote is canceled? Are they going to be kicked off the sports team or whatever extracurriculars are involved in? These are what I said.
Oh,
Happy to the minutes.
All right, now we'll move on to agenda item 4. Harbor Commission newsletter update. Oh, I forgot to mention Lee Baker is also with us on Zoom. Sorry, Lee.
that's not a problem. Thanks. So I think you all received the draft version. Thank you, Lauren, for sending it out. I appreciate that. And I don't know if you've had time to look at it. If you have questions, I don't know if you want me to walk through it step by step, or if there are already questions. What's your preference?
Why don't you give us a brief rundown?
You bet. So I think, first of all, that this site should live on the Town of LaPointe website under the Harbor Commission page. And I guess there are 2 different one was government and one was departments, and I'm not quite sure which is the better place for this to live, but I think that's probably a decision that I will leave up to you all. I borrowed the Harbor Commission quote unquote logo from Lauren's letterhead for the landing page. And I think the landing page is simply a welcome to the Harbor Commission with an introduction to find out what's on this website. So I'm proposing 4 different drop-down categories. The first one is about us, and simply it's a list of the meetings, date, time, place, minutes from previous meetings, making those available. The director's reports, the ones that have already been in the Gazette, as well as a place to add more. A list and link to Harbor Commission members. Question: do we add a resources page, other links to the chamber, to Bayfield Chamber, Madeline Island Chamber, etc., and then a contact us place. The next would be the Harbor Commission history, news, and financing. Again, an introduction to that particular page, with then a drop-down menu that gives the history, the budget, financing, just a place for discussion about property taxes, school transportation. And again, these are not set in stone, obviously. This is just for something to react to. And then one that's just the ferry schedule itself, or a link to all of the ferry information, alerts, rates, mag cards, etc. I did add on that particular page, the opportunity for people to buy a gift card. I know that's been a very popular item in the Baker household. And hopefully can help with, a little bit of revenue too. So, then, and I added in as one of the additions, the package delivery. I think there are sometimes questions about how do I do that? What address do I use, et cetera. So have that on there as well. And then the last one is just fun facts and frequently asked questions. And these were just, I don't know, things that I thought people might have fun, learning about. So, not really an important page per se, but kind of an interesting one. I think there are always questions like, well, what's the longest vehicle that's ever been transported? Has there been somebody married on the ferry, et cetera? So, those we can add or delete or whatever. So that's a very, very brief overview. And then my proposal, I believe what I think might work the best is that when we add or update any information to this page, that we create a post on the community Facebook page and put that information briefly on there, describe what the new update is with a link that will connect people to this page. Now, the only downside of all this proposal is people who don't have Facebook won't be able to necessarily access this unless their friends say, hey, did you see what was on the Facebook page? So that's something that I do, and I do think that having several announcements in the Gazette about this particular new page would be helpful. So that would be the other thing is people could access it, go directly to the Harbor Commission page without having to get it via Facebook. So those are my thoughts. I can go into more detail if you'd like, or just start to get some reactions.
Lee, this is more than just a start. I mean, really, it's a template. It will work quite well, in my opinion. The big sort of outstanding question is, how does this get done?
Right.
And there are two parts to that. One is, how does the first version, just for us, find itself being real? And second, let's say that real version we want to make go live. Who's got the hands on the helm? How does this get done? And how do updates find themselves being made? One of the things we loved about this is once we have a page, a website, we can, when there's a need for a quick piece of information to the community, a bulletin, breaking news, then this is the place where people could go. But I think those questions are the ones we're going to have to wrestle with. I'm not sure we're going to be able to do that in this meeting, but maybe.
It used to be that the town clerk had access to the web page, and then they worked with the tech person. I don't know if Alex still does that, or if
she definitely does still update the website. And there's this whole, interface that you adjust and edit. I don't know what it would take to make a whole kind of separate page like this. So I do know the company's name that is like the holder of the website is JD Systems, I think. So, I mean, that's a good start. At least I could talk to Alex. I know she'll be in this afternoon. I can just get an idea of what it looks like on the back end and what it might take, maybe even contact that company.
Yeah, I wonder if there's an out of the box engine behind whatever they're offering us.
Oh, say that again.
Excuse me. I wonder if there's an out of the box software that's actually behind this company name. It's just, there are so many management systems out there.
Is this something Lee, sorry, you could
No,
design and have?
Yeah, I have just enough knowledge to be really dangerous with this. I have done, like I've played around with the St. John's website. a little bit with the Woods Hall website and a couple of other websites for some previous clients. I am not a website wizard by far and away. However, depending on how, some are really technical and others are really easy to navigate. I like the easy ones to navigate personally, and that is something that you can add and preview it and so forth without it being live. So that's the kind of thing that, yes, I would be happy to take on some of the responsibility for building this. And then having Alex make sure that I'm going down the right path with it. And you all too. So I think perhaps in concert, I mean, to maybe understand more about how the technical parts of it work from Alex would be really helpful.
I think the next logical step would be for you and Alex to discuss the, the finer details and.
Yeah.
Yep.
My question to the company would be, what is the CMS behind? the
Yes.
system?
This is great.
And Alex can add me as an admin to this, and
Yeah.
obviously I wouldn't mess around with any of their pages, just the Harbor Commission page.
Have you guys seen the St. John's?
I get the info blast or I get the
The
email.
Lighthouse?
The lighthouse, yes.
You do, okay. That's her design and execution.
Yep, I knew that.
I think I'm going on 11 years this month, so anybody wants to take it on, I'm happy to pass it off.
Time flies, Lee.
Yeah, I know. It does, that's for sure. Well, maybe, I mean, if you all are okay, and this is something we could build, but not go live with. And you all could have access to it and see the preview. So if you all are comfortable with it, I'm happy if somebody could put me in touch with Alex, I can start working on this and building it. And then, I'm sure I'll need some help along the way, because as I say, I'm not a website wizard.
Sure, I will just step in and say I can connect you and Alex together.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. That'd be
Thank
great.
you.
Are there any glaring, I don't know, errors or omissions, edits, revisions?
I did notice one thing about reloading or purchasing a discount card.
Yep.
Robin, correct me if I'm wrong, but they can't use a credit card to do that, and they can't use Venmo. It's cash or check only,
And it's in the very line.
and it's only in the office, yeah.
Okay,
Is there a way around that they could pay like a?
You can pay on the boat too, no?
You can recharge on the boat.
Recharge on the
With the
boat.
check.
The
Still,
physical original card comes from the office. I mean, if somebody sends us a check for $245, we'll mail the card back to them.
Right,
But the real card, we used to have the boat for doing it, it was just too much of a mess.
Is there a way to allow, like in this particular instance, purchase of this gift card or recharging someone's card via credit card? And then add a convenience fee to cover the bank transactions? I know that's been a topic that's come up a number of
It would
times.
require programming of our ticketing system, would also require resubmission of the tariff. I don't think it's probably at this time, I would say not. We only take check for charge accounts too, check or cash, you know what I mean?
Yep.
is it, my understanding is you don't have to actually have the card physically. If you go into the office and say, this is for Lee Baker, that you all can go into the system and with my check in hand, you can add money into it without having the card present. Is that a correct understanding?
It's not what we wanna do. We want the
Okay.
card present. Occasionally, we will do that for a customer because they believe that it's in their car in Minneapolis or it's.
Okay, all right. Well, I'll take my direction from you all about whether the gift card idea is a good idea or a bad idea. I just thought it might help drive some revenue, and as I say, it's been a very popular stocking stuffer in our family.
I was about to say, if we can make that happen, it'd be.
I think it's a great idea, the logistics.
Well, that's just gonna address this, we don't do, we could do a card as a gift card, like your mother could. Come in and buy a card and then give it to you, but a gift certificate is like a piece of paper
Yeah,
that you have to come into the office and
give us a check and, you know, it is popular and we would mail it to a person if they sent the check in.
Okay,
Oh, that's,
But it's not an auto.
it's not a card. Yeah,
Well, we could make a card if
gotcha.
came in with a check for $245, give them the card and then they write the name on it and all that good stuff.
Okay.
But I mean, it's a old traditional system.
it's a cool gift.
Cool gift. Old system.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I like the idea of the gift card. I think that's great. It's just in a way separate from the Miffle swipe card reloading that you talk about later on.
Right, okay.
Yeah,
It's a gift.
yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for that clarification.
I just want to point out a second sentence of the Harbor Commission History, News and Financing. Seems to me it needs to be clarified, maybe reorganized to be a little more accurate.
Yeah.
Publicly operated transportation utility. Miffle LLC is now being managed by the town of LaPointe, yada, yada. With the assistance of, is what caught my attention.
And I don't know who owns that Miffle LLC. I assume it's
Yeah, it's
the management.
that we've contracted.
Yeah,
Yep.
okay, there's gonna be
There'll be
a
edits.
boatload of editing
Yeah.
going on. I think the
Yeah.
discussion,
This time, just
the discussion here is formatted process, which I think is being handled.
Yep.
Yeah, the language that I have in there is literally, pulled out of the air to just, kind of give you all the feel of what that page might begin to look like.
Exactly, it's for position only, but it works.
Yeah. Right, but nothing, as I say, none of the language is set in stone or anything like that.
I think it's a great start and thank you for what you've done thus far.
Yeah, you bet. You bet. I think I would need help for sure on, probably from the ferry line and other, I don't know, other people just with the fun answers to some of the fun facts. And that's something that we can build over time. In fact, my suggestion would be that we don't put all of them on there at one time, because that's the kind of thing that we could throw out there as a post to draw people to the site from time to time.
Once again, thank you. And
Yeah,
if we
you
don't have
bet.
anything else, we'll move on to the minutes.
Thank
The
you again,
October
Lee.
17th meeting.
You bet. Do you mind if I stay on just again to gather information to continue building this website?
Please do.
All right, thank you.
I move the adoption. The.
Second.
If there's no further discussion, all in favor? Aye, opposed? Motion carries. I believe next is Katie's report.
Yeah, so I have the current balances of the Harbor Commission bank accounts. This was as of Tuesday morning. The October revenue as of Tuesday morning, now this is minus the last 2 days of October, but we've officially gotten to 100% of the budgeted income
Woo-hoo.
for the month of October. So that's, well, what was in the 2024 budget anyways. I did include all of the reports for September.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys can glance over that at your leisure. Just wanted to point out probably that main figure, as we're about at 96% for the budgeted of the budgeted income for the month of September. So a little shy of what we had, but in those reports, I did also include Miffle's monthly report. Really the only thing, there's nothing that's on there that we haven't already discussed about, like the Madeline project and the Island Clean. Nothing else. That there's a few vehicles damage reimbursements on there. That you'll see in the September expenses that are submitted for reimbursement today. Then the last is just an update from the PVA meeting. I included the agenda, so we went to the, Passenger Boat Association, and then the Passenger Vessel Association. All in all, I personally think it was really great to see that. I think that it's an excellent, like, proactive resource for the ferry line to be a part of. It is expensive, just for the yearly dues. And Robin, correct me if I'm wrong, but I saw that the expense was just under $2,700 for the year.
Possibly, it's based on how many total passenger your vessels. Yeah, ours is 600. And then jump that range, and I mean, it's pretty inexpensive for what we get. The funding of the Passenger Vessel Association staff and organization is a lot through Foghorn Advertising, which is like a magazine. So it's not just member dues finance, which is unusual for the industry.
I mean, ultimately, I think that it's an excellent resource for the ferry line. I mean, if you have questions about like insurances, like you can, if you have, they have Steve Pierce, who, and Cal even did some presentations, and I don't know, it was very informative, and it's a group of people that like all are working together. Like if anybody had like a couple of different, another ferry line was just like, I exhausted all of my other resources. I have this problem, like any ideas, like as to what we can do to solve this problem. Yeah, I thought that it was good. The only thing I would say for the Harbor Commission is maybe we just kind of keep in mind like the number of people that are sent to these, but I think that it's an excellent resource.
There were two, I'm familiar with PVA.
Mhm.
There's what was the organization?
Passenger Boat Association, and Robin can.
Yeah, it's Great Lakes Passenger Boat Association.
Oh.
It probably Gary and other ferry boat operations from the Great Lakes used to attend it in January when they were all shut down. Like Mackinac, Miller Boat Line, Washington Island Ferry, you know, it was a networking organization. Plus, you could call people up during the year and just say, you know, I've got this deal, what do you do? And so it predated Passenger Vessel Association, inclusion of ferries. Passenger Vessel Association was more excursion. Ferries was a subset, small subset, and it was casino boats, you know, that kind of stuff. And then they realized that ferries didn't talk a lot, you know, the people from the ferries didn't talk a lot, but it was a good, actually ferries is the largest subset. And they include like Staten Island, Washington State.
Oh, yeah.
That kind of stuff. So it's a member advocacy. And like, that Richard Patch, I don't know if you were there for that, but it's legislative. They, provide assistance for Congress and Coast Guard in writing regulations and have yearly meetings.
Helpful.
Yeah, so the first group right now is always on the beginning of the meeting. We have that roundtable, and it's a social group, but it's also, you know.
Yeah, networking.
Right.
Well, it was like, what were your struggles this year?
Yeah,
Like,
right.
what do you guys, I mean, one of the questions is like, where do you guys hire? Like, how do you maintain your staff?
Great. Yeah.
It was.
The agenda was interesting. I mean, I taking a look
Well,
at
I have
that.
lots of notes on.
Yeah, okay.
That was all I had.
But we also, besides Cal and I, we always try to bring at least one captain to the meeting because it's the closest. And there's a lot of captains there and they interact with other people, so that's.
Yeah, it's part of their
important.
continuing education.
Right.
And also, sorry, just to interject, I could see like why like bringing like a captain along also puts that captain in the mindset of like, this is why we're like so strict on these safety procedures. This is why we do this. This is what we're trying to do. And to have them be kind of that setting, I can see how it would be like, okay, like I understand like why we do all the things and like, how can we do this better? It kind of gives them kind of a motivation, be like, okay, this is like how things should be.
Certainly a
We should be
context.
proactive about
Yeah.
this, yeah.
Anything else for Katie or? I will move that we place Chief Administrative Officer's report on file.
I'll second the motion.
Favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Let's move into the budget. I'm still waiting on some payroll numbers from Robin and capital improvement numbers from Cal, which next year, I think we're gonna have to get a much earlier jump on this to be able to meet the timeline laid out in our resolutions for the general obligation bonds and stuff. We,
A good chunk of what we've been trying to do is breaking the categories down in where they make more sense, like for the Harbor Commission, where we can like really see in detail more
Line items.
of whereas, yeah.
Okay.
And I do have like some notes on the side. There's like other pages of notes that I have, but that was what I could like fill in for the meeting today. Like all of like, I mean, there's sections that, I mean, I just sent Robin like another list of questions that we had that once we have answers to, we should be able to fill out the majority of what's missing on here.
Do you factor in any increase in Eric?
we have not gotten to a bottom line yet to be able to
Yeah.
discern the need.
And Sharon has been out. I think she's back now. That conversation on advertising.
Uh-huh.
I think that's an important one that should happen.
Yeah, that was, and I did ask Robin to hold off on any 2025 marketing.
Is that the latest you?
Yeah.
We want to get that one tackled.
Well, we'd like to see the rate cards as well.
But one big takeaway is we did modify the revenue numbers. We kind of split the difference between Eller's report and actuals from 2024.
Oh.
So in some cases, they were reduced. Some cases, they stayed the same, I think.
I was just gonna say, you've got the capital requests or the needs for next year. Cal just, I don't know, if it's you, Katie, or somebody asked for when they would be spring or fall, but it's hard to tell.
I did ask him for like an updated one, because the one that I have is from
Before
like
the
Glenn's
purchase.
conversation with them like earlier this spring.
I mean, a lot of it's sort of unknown. I mean, you know what you know, but you don't know.
Yeah, I just asked that he give us an
Yeah.
updated,
But I
generally
always-
what he knows, like his
It's a
knowledge.
challenge to figure out when things will happen. you know?
Yeah. And we
The
understand that.
the bigger picture there, I think, would be just a fresh set of eyes on the estimated
Yeah.
Costs.
I don't know if, your shipyards or any of those people, they aren't gonna give, estimates more than 30 days. That's what I've seen in the past, is they just say this is good for 30 days and then. And steel is based on steel,
right?
you know? So you're kind of winging it.
We're very much winging it.
It's all right.
I, 'Cause
So it's not ready to be approved at this point. It was, just for you guys to give you the updated copy, see where we're at. If you have any,
Something that you wanna see on here
No, I mean, I just
down
like,
further, or?
no, but I like your idea of breaking down some of the lineup, so. Also. Just understand.
What's the timing, your timing? What do you? What would we like to see, finished product?
next year, we should really have it by October 1st.
Yeah.
Because we're required to notify the town board
Yeah,
of any need for tax levy.
yep,
This year, I mean, we're still, we have, this is some of August, September. In the reimbursements.
That's September expenses, August credit card expenses. that
So we're,
will-
you know, we're still
We're still
working
catching
that
up.
far back, yeah.
okay.
And then estimating
Yep.
ridership numbers through the end of the year.
It definitely has to be, I would say, by the end of the year that we that the town board approves a budget, because we're only allowed to spend money of ours to the extent that it's in a budget that's been approved by the municipality.
So,
What is the process for this? So it's like, once we have this developed, would I need to meet with like Robin and Cal?
They should certainly be
To go.
brought into the conversation.
Well, then, yeah, I mean, I would like to say, hopefully I can be meeting with Robin and Cal by the end of, or at least like mid-November, end of November. Kind of go through things.
I would say as soon as possible. I'm away for a week. Cal's on vacation right now for a week or
Mhm.
so.
And I'm gone from middle of November till December.
So somewhere in between those, hopefully we can get together and finalize. Make sure we're all on the same page.
Yeah.
And then if the budget, if it tends to go over, then you just stop running trips. I mean, if for some reason, you know what I mean, couldn't happen. Or don't fix the goal.
I don't see it going there yet.
Well, hopefully not. I'm just trying to clarify, because if all of a sudden you have to hire outside captains, or you've got a stern tube that needs to be replaced on a point canopy, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
yes,
It can go south.
I think we still have,
That's where our CCF fund was really nice. You don't have that, or you don't need it, but it was like a question.
I think that's gonna be the next item on the
it's
agenda.
right here, number 8, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
are we ready to move on to that?
Apple.
So the next item is establish emergency repair fund.
And this also needs to be approved by the town board, but for first step, and I think that the timing couldn't be much better. We have that $500,000 CD. It matures on Friday, tomorrow. I know that Melissa, the treasurer, and I have both been in touch with Bremer, and they're offering a 3-month CD at 4.6%, which would be about $14,000 of interest. Granted, it ties up that emergency repair fund for 3 months, but there's nothing that says that we have to take emergency repairs out of that fund, right? So,
Oh, yeah, I get you.
I mean, we've got plenty of cash right now. And, you know, I think when the time comes, we may decide to put it into something far more liquid. Because if it is for emergency repairs, you don't want to wait 3 months to get,
Right.
you know.
Sure.
But, you know, I would like to propose that we simply redesignate that CD as the emergency repair fund for now. And then when it does mature, we'll put it into something that's really liquid.
Money market. or
Money
something like
market, you know, and we'll have to talk to Bremer because
Anybody?
we have this agreement with them that all of our deposit accounts will be with them. Yeah, and so we'll have to see if we can pry this away because we need it for, you know, immediate, and we want to maximize our, you know, return on it. And so
Great.
Does
I think it's a
anybody
good idea.
do commercial paper?
there should be something, Robin,
Sorry, I didn't catch how much you have in the CD right now.
500,000.
Maybe it needs to be more money than that, but
Do you think that's an appropriate amount?
No,
It's too little?
you know,
How much do you recommend?
well, okay. Our CTF goes back to 1984, and so when we talk about, building or, buying a hall and repairing it to the point, I would put in like 600,000, 700,000 a year into the CCF. But that was to build and repair. The Island Queen and the Mitchell Group, 2 years ago, we spent, close to 850, 900. And that was, we also had to do other vessels too, but on those specific vessels. This one for the Madeline's gonna come in at 500. 550, that's without the props. So,
Well, Robin, the point of this is to,
smaller stuff.
well, so this emergency repair fund is statutorily able to be spent on the signature of the Harbor Commission secretary.
Oh,
without-
so like getting money back.
Yeah, I mean, like getting it today, right?
That's-
Versus having to wait for a meeting of the Harbor Commission to approve, you know, $1 million.
Okay, so it's not what you consider the whole capital.
No, it's an
No.
emergency.
It's a bridge.
Right.
The operative word is emergency.
Yeah, like immediate today.
So then you have the right to. Say you spend 300,000, you have the right to get another 300 and put in there.
We can put in as much as we want.
But I mean, automatically put it in there, or we have to have another. meeting?
We'll
Probably.
probably have to have another meeting to.
I think 500 should. I mean, by then, you can have a meeting within a week and just say they took out Dot A and Bayfield and you have to rebuild.
Yeah, exactly. This is if you need the money like today or tomorrow.
Like the shipyard wants a down payment.
Right, exactly.
Okay. Or the props, they need to have it all. No, I think that's good.
It's a good start. The more we keep costs down, the more we'll build it up.
Exactly.
I move that we designate the $500,000 CD as emergency repair fund and recommend that the town board do the same.
I'll second.
And then it is going to be rolled over into another 3-month term.
Yeah,
correct?
and rolled over into a 3-month term at 4.6%.
I will second that motion. There's no discussion. I will call the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Bayfield School contract.
I think we have an agreement.
No.
And partly because we've taken out the details of how the count is going to be actually done and said that it will be by mutual agreement.
Okay.
And I do believe that we do have with Robin, a solution of using, dummy mag cards with people's names on it that are just considered to be almost like a permanent ticket that the kids have to have them with them when they go to the boat, and they'll just give it to the ticket taker. Ticket taker will collect them like a deck of cards and count them up and give that number to the captain and the coast guard, and then they'll give the chaperone the cards when they're leaving. And the chaperone can get the cards back to the kids.
And when someone doesn't have a card,
They'll be charged it'll be, up to the captain, of course, or no chaperone. And they'll be charged the full published price and not the discounted price that's in the contract.
that's an incentive.
Mhm.
It's not really an incentive to them though.
It's,
No, because they don't pay the price.
The parents do.
Well, what we can.
The school district.
Yeah,
pays.
we can do, I mean, and we've talked, I think, a little bit about this on the side, which is, if this gets to be an issue, the Harbor Commission could say, okay, every kid, you've got a $50 end of year bonus that you're gonna get, and we're gonna reduce that bonus by the amount of every time you have to pay full price and it's gonna be reduced by that $9.
It's a real incentive, yeah.
And it costs us about, $500-600 for the year.
And it motivates them. That's real motive. Good.
You know, it might be helpful, for a lot of schools do for ID cards would be a lanyard.
I was
Yeah.
thinking about.
I was too.
It's really helpful for the kids to have it around their neck and it's a physical reminder that they have their card.
Yeah, we're one of those wristy.
I don't know.
With all the yoga pants, no one has pockets.
You can clip, there's some that clip on and off, so you can just take it off your lanyard and give it to the captain and put it back on.
Yeah.
I'm sure that you could punch a hole in one of those cards easily enough to attach whatever you wanted on there.
Okay.
This is a suggestion.
Great.
Hey, Glenn, I sent you an email, or it was like about 10 minutes before this meeting.
Oh, okay.
There's just one sentence in here that isn't in the new one that we had in the old one.
Okay.
It's, while Madeline has no obligation to guarantee available conveyance for all students for all extracurricular activities.
Oh, that's not in the new one?
No,
It should be.
yeah, well, you can just look at the email.
Okay, thanks. Well, I move that we adopt the contract as directed, amended by Robin's comment.
I'll second.
Well, second.
Doesn't name in the minutes.
Glenn, are you going to update that or?
I do have a question. How are we moving forward with that? Like, how is it announced to the kids or like the families and that they need this card and like, how are we?
Cal was going to draft a letter of ridership expectations.
Uh-huh.
With the request that the parents and students both sign them and return them.
Okay,
Before they get the card.
Yeah,
okay, so it's not like Miffle's expectation for the kids tomorrow to have these cards.
yeah,
Just
Robin
let's
still
all be
has
like
to,
on the same page.
yeah, Robin's still digging up the cards.
Okay, and expect it to like start happening on like a specific date and stuff, so, okay.
And who's doing the language?
Maybe I could order some.
I mean, they'll probably, you could probably buy a box of them for.
That's what you
$2
do.
for a
Do
sleeve.
you know how many is needed?
30, oh, maybe.
Get a couple
Well, it could be
extras.
30 because,
30?
We got teachers and chaperones.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, all the,
Checkers and that kind of stuff, and you might wanna,
Up that.
Go to 48, nice
We'll see how
brown.
many buy the box.
or you might wanna ask people what they'd like to wear too, you know what I mean? Is it just a cord or is it like a, because somebody said that they might snap them to their knapsack or something, you know, rather
a full lanyard.
than, yeah.
They wanna get fancy with it, then
They can rig it
have that
themselves.
kind of standard.
But it's not that easy to snap them on.
I know.
Yeah, I think we don't necessarily want the ticket taker to have, 30 lanyards.
Because if every kid has to snap it on or off, and, you know, they have very limited time on that stuff.
Yeah, the ones I've seen just have like an alligator clip, like you just,
Okay,
it is pretty easy to snap on.
okay,
It's
Oh, that, there's a clip on the card, it's a clip on.
It clips on the lanyard that just clips to any card that you.
got
put
it,
in.
got it. So it doesn't go into a sleeve or anything, it's just,
But they make different kinds.
okay.
We'll explore
Find
some
something
options.
and confirm with all 30 sessions.
You can get a 12 pack, a rainbow one,
What took you so long?
$7.
I want skulls.
We'll get options. Yeah.
Okay. So we have a motion and a second. Is there any more discussion? All in favor?
I,
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Move on to Free Ferry Day conversation. My thought is that we've kind of been extending courtesies across the board for this first year. And I don't see any reason to change now.
I don't think we'd be very popular if we ended Free Ferry Day.
Free trip halfway.
One way for.
One-way free.
I recommend we keep free ferry day.
I'll second that.
All right. There's any further, no further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Approval of bills. We have, wait the bills today. I'll let you,
Oh, great, thanks.
yep.
So we have, to Fraser Shipyards for $399,809. And to Miffle LLC for various reimbursements for $421,743.14. For a total of $821,552.14.
And just to clarify, I think, did we already pay the Fraser portion?
So that's this breakdown right here. That is what we've paid already,
Okay,
and then that is the remainder that's listed on there.
I think the first payment was a Miffle reimbursement because they had
They had already paid it.
It was
okay,
189
Or one-
119.
Yeah.
okay.
And so that's the difference in what was already paid and what was still due.
Got it.
That's the
When we get
breakdown.
into numbers of 400,000, is there a way for us to know more about what various means?
It's listed
That's-
right here on that top one.
Oh,
That's
good,
3
thank you.
different payrolls
Yeah.
and September.
Also, that also sent out to you guys and meetings where you got many
Attachment.
attachments, yes.
Yep, okay, thank you.
Yeah, so it's
I saw it, I
payrolls
didn't
and
understand it.
expenses. There was one other thing. Oh, the August credit card.
And on top of Katie's summary page, there's another summary page that's orientated landscape, and that gives each line breakdown.
That's just Fraser
No,
invoices.
what Susan.
Yeah. So if you want to look at like a list of all those invoices.
Page
you
two.
look at the Second page.
Right, is that it?
I don't think it is.
Oh, that's payroll summary.
Oh, one more page over.
Yeah, you have the payrolls for our first. And then that's the breakdown of everything.
Got it. The president.
I'm gonna scan this already. I will, move that we pay the bills as presented.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Do we want to move 12 or just? I think we will be going into closed session. Thank you, Robin.
Yeah.
Thanks, Robin.
Checks in the mail.
Yeah.
I'm here to help.
I will move that we go into closed session to discuss management contract under state statute 19.851E for the purpose of deliberating or negotiating the purchasing of public properties, investment of public funds, or conducting other specified public business whenever competitive or bargaining reasons require closed session. If the commission goes into closed session, it will reconvene in open session before adjournment. Second it.
Also.
All in favor?
We have to do.
All roll call.
Oh,
That's right. Jay Wiltz,
Aye, yes.
Susan Whitmer,
Yes.
Michael Collins.
Yeah.